Thank you everyone for joining the session. Today, before starting the session, we will see what are the solo miner who were lucky last week and was able to mine some blocks. So yesterday or day before yesterday on 31st May, Brains solo pool. So maybe you guys might be aware of Brains, but everyone feel like Brains is a pool mining instead of the solo mining pool. But they have two categories. There is a Brains, which is a generic miner like Via BTC and others. But there is a solo Brains website as well. So if I can show it to you right now. So that is solo.brains.com. That works similarly like CK Pool. So they took the code, the source code of CK Pool, did little bit modification and was using the same CK Pool running on their own server in Europe. Okay, so there is only one server available in Brain Solo Pool that is in Europe. And if you will see, these are the configuration for the pool URL if you want to connect. Okay. So what we will do, we will first look for this 95111771. Why? Because if you will search on X, there are many people are talking about that this miner got or this block got mined by a miner, which is nothing but a Nano 3S. But if you want to verify it, is it true or not, we just need to check the address and verify it in Brain Solo. So I will go to mempool.space first and we will look for 9517771 block number. So I will search it here and if you will go below, you will able to find it out the newly generated coins went to this address. I will copy this link address. I will go to Brain Solo. You just need to search the address here. If we will search the address, so everyone was saying, or most of the post I was reading on Reddit, and they were saying this guy was just using Avalon Nano 3S, which is nothing but might be providing you 6 terahash or 4 5 terahash, right? But if you see the reality, so they have 14 workers. Okay, so yes, that block got mined by Nano 3S, Avalon Nano 3S. But how many Nano 3S he is using? Can you calculate it? Because if you will see the hash rate, which is currently 157 terahash per second. So he might be using so many Nano 3S along with some other mini miners and maybe some others as well. So if you want to see all the details, you have a JSON format file. You can have a look and you can see all the details of each miners which he is using. So he has not removed it, but what generally happens, like if you are able to mine the block, people generally change the address. So if you want to see how many uh, blocks got mined by Brain Solo Pool, you just need to click um, here in this Brain Solo because they have recently launched last year. And if you will see, the first block was mined on Feb last, then another was in April, and then in May. So we have seen this. If you want to also double confirm for that, you can quickly open it on mempool.space, copy that Coinbase. Okay, let me see if someone has any question or anything. Just give me a second. Okay, so Okay, I just copied this, and if I go to Solo Brains status and I just stats and I just put the address, click open, how much hash rate he is in 5 petahash per second here. Okay. The first solo block which got mined for that, because if it is too old, you will not able to find the details. Why? Because most probably the guy have already moved to another address. So people cannot trace his or her details. That's why if you click here and if you go and copy the address, go to stats brain solo, just put the address, and if you will search it, you will got to know that this user has already moved to different address. That's why you are not seeing any information here. Even if you will see the previous information, that would be very less, 707 gigahertz, because maybe he might have removed it long ago, and this is just a 7 days hash rate it is showing in this place. Okay, so we have seen this. Now, one more thing you might have seen today morning when I woke up, I saw the Bitcoin price went little down. Like it was always up to 70K, but in just past 24 hours, it shrink down and went below 70K. Just want to know your feedback why you are thinking this in just 24 hours. What could be the reason this has been happened? Any information or any sentiment analysis you might have done it today? If not, I just want to ask how many people are aware of this. So what I will do, I will just go to Arkham. If you remember, we have used this website a lot in our previous session. Like we want to trace or do the analysis of, or you just want to follow any spatial address, or if you want to just see inward and outward transaction, you can able to use Arkham Intel and you will able to find it out. Okay. So before that, you can see these are the trending entities, right? So one is this, then BlackRock and strategy. You might have heard about that MSTR have sold few BTC just to I think day before yesterday. But are you guys aware of MTGOX? What is this? Or if
Yes, it
not,
was exchange in Japan which got hacked
yes,
in early days of Bitcoin.
correct. And that time, I think in 2014, 15, if I'm not wrong, this centralized exchange was handling over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions. So that was a very popular uh, Bitcoin exchange, I would say, from Japan. Thanks, Amol, for sharing that information. And if you will see here, so I think they have moved 10,422 BTC, which is nothing but approx $739 million into some other wallet. We are not sure in which wallet, but at least we can see all those inflow and outflow transaction. So with this website, if you know any address or if you know any famous personality address which is already available, you can go there and search it and you will see all even for strategy you can also able to see what is the inflow and the outflow transaction and how much Bitcoin they are holding at the moment. You can also able to see it here. So this is a pretty good website if you want to follow or verify what others are saying is correct or not. Okay. So before starting our session on privacy on Bitcoin, if anyone has any queries or anything, feel free to ask. If not, we can move ahead. Okay. So just give me a second. I have prepared one document as well. Okay. Let me increase the font little bit. So maybe first I will cover the little basics. So at least if anyone is not aware of few things, we will clarify that and then we will just try to cover more in detail about other things like structure or privacy model or what is Bitcoin chain analysis and transaction pattern, how people look for consolidation and all those things. So before moving further, if we will compare the Bitcoin with the banking system, so in banking system, all these things are private, means identity is private, transaction is private, even bank details and counterparts would be private. And then you will send it to any public person if you want to send. And maybe little bit information like transaction ID and these things would be public. But in Bitcoin model, identity will always be private, but all the transaction will be public. As you can read it here, that we will review the fundamental principle, even if you will see this we have already covered in this diagram, but how we will make sure we are protecting against the chain analysis. So if you will see here, everyone can see all those UTXO which you have spent and they have the address, but the identity is not connected to the address. No one knows until or unless you have already posted that information on X or somewhere that donate on this address, then they can link that address belongs to you. Otherwise, there is no identity threats here. So in this diagram, if you will see, only this inputs will be public on the mempool space and the outputs. And it is very easy to find it out how much you have sent it and what is the another, maybe like you have your UTXO was 100, you have spent 80 and 20 was returned back to you. That can be easily tracked here. But if the co coin join transactions, in that what will happen, that people will use, you might have heard about Bitcoin mixer and all those things, people use it in dark web. So this is the same thing here which we are seeing, that coin join in this all those inputs. So maybe Alice wants to send to someone, Bob's wants to send to someone, Charles wants to send to someone. Those input will get mixed or co-joined, and then after that you will be sending the output to all those relevant address where you want to send those transactions, and this will be the whole coin join. So in that, people will never able to understand that if Alice was sending to this guy or Bob was sending to that guy. So this is very difficult to track if you will coin join with other UTXOs, which all those Bitcoin mixer service provider generally do. Then, if you will look for this technique to protect your privacy on Bitcoin, means that is a one method, the CoinJoin method, right? But people will not able to do that easily. So even just doing this or using any a third party Bitcoin mixer, which we generally don't recommend, people don't use, you can do it with using a protocol which was proposed to enhance the user privacy. Like you can involve the Bitcoin privacy ecosystem in that if you are sending something to someone, that co-join would happen. So if you will see the below diagram, that was related to the static protocols. There are so many developers who have created different kind of designing tools, mostly dedicated to the privacy on Bitcoin. You can use those tools, and those tools will mix all those parameters. And while sending this, so this will be very difficult to track, like whom you are sending the data. Even if people are using Arkham or mempool.space, they will not able to correlate the things easily if you are using these techniques. So these are a few methods. One is you can use CoinJoin, which maybe most of the people would find it easy. Otherwise, there are so many static protocols tools are available, which you can use that, and they will use those protocols and will make sure that people will not able to trace your identity or trace your spending behavior easily. So let me open Notepad so maybe I can explain it a little better. Okay, let me increase the font. And I believe here everyone is aware of the UTXO model, so that I'm not gonna cover because uh, I think public key, private key, UTXOs, we are already aware. But if, let us suppose, we want to use or spend our Bitcoin, how we will use, or if we want to use the chain. Okay, before starting this, I just want to know how many people are aware of chain analysis. Like what is blockchain analysis or what is chain analysis on Bitcoin? So if you have seen what we were doing it here in Arkham tool, we were tracing the flow of Bitcoins on the blockchain. So we were just tracing that this centralized exchange and how many inflows and outflows happen with this thing, right? So this is nothing but this chain analysis in which what you do in a layman terms, you observe the blockchain, you made some assumption here. Like if there is two transaction has been made and one transaction, let's suppose 50 BTC and another is in some decimal, 2, 3 decimal, then I can easily assume that this would be the real transaction and this is what I got it back after the fees got detected and all those things, right? So these are some kind of assumption for the detection. We made it here. So the chain analysis objective is you group all those transactions together and you find the uniqueness of the user. Like if that many transaction has happened, how you will able to find or relate where the flow is going. Even if you want, okay, anyone is aware of any hacker or any white hat hacker who is sharing all those information after looking at the chain analysis for all those crypto, or if you might have seen it on X or maybe on Telegram. Anyone is aware of any website or anywhere like in which they generally do the chain analysis and they share all those information regarding chain analysis. Okay, so if none of, okay, let me find it out and I can share that thing. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, I'm not able to log in it right now. So, okay, maybe I will share it later. In that, you can see all those crypto related analysis. Like if someone has hacked from some protocols or through some wallet, they do all those analysis, chain analysis, and shared it on X. Even there is the Telegram group. In that also they share those information as well. So chain analysis method in which they will do transaction patterns. Then they will also check internal or external information, how they able to find it out, or if based on their past experience, if they find it out, okay, this transaction went to this address and this address is known. So based on that, they can also able to find your privacy. In another way, like transaction patterns, let us suppose someone has already done the transaction pattern. So Bitcoin chain analysis they have done, transaction pattern they have done. They also have looked for the blockchain data, and if something is common in your transaction, like two different addresses are used to fund a single payment, then it means that both of those address belongs to the same person. So if I have done the analysis and I have found out like these two different address I have used to make a single payment, in that we call it internal heuristics. In that we can directly say that those two different addresses are assigned to a single person. That single person may be A. Another is external. So in that, like the analyst will combine all the blockchain data if that info somehow linked with the IP address or the forum post. So let us suppose you have made some forum post and some info got leaked regarding that IP address and all those things. even if you want, like there is a tool. If you go to dark web, there is a tool. You just need to pay like around um $2, and you will able to find all those information just by using the email address or the mobile phone. So we have, like last time I have given that demo, like in that, if you go there, because that time I just purchased it for 1 month subscription. Even all those big companies also have that internal subscription in which they check if there is any vulnerabilities already available. In the same portal, if you have the email address or um, the mobile phone number of any person, you search it, you will find it out, maybe their home address, IP address as well. And if someone will got to know, because see, if you might be using Trezor suite, then maybe it might be having Tor inbuilt, right? But if you are using any kind of app like um, Tangem or Bitkeeper or anyone, right? In that case, your IP, your ISP can see and can connect that dots that you are using Tangem. And once you are doing the transaction, that time in the blockchain itself, if it will find something, it can do the correlation and will find it out that you might be the person who might be doing these kind of transactions. This is possible if you are not using uh, Tor or so many other VPNs, and if someone has access to the home internet, he can able to easily verify. If you might be aware, someone has mentioned on X, I forgot the tweet, in that he has mentioned that if you okay, so just um, okay, yes, plus okay, before that, I just want to ask one question. Once we put www.google.com, what happens? Means anyone has any basic idea? Means if I'm just typing www.com on the portal, what will happen next? What is the first thing Chrome will do? It will always ask for DNS, right? DNS lookup will happen. So the same thing, let me see if I can find it out. I can. Okay, let me search it on Google if I can find it out. So what I want to show here, okay. So I will just explain that post to you. So someone had posted on X, and that guy is a very technical guy. He has mentioned that because right now 99% of the traffic is encrypted. Once I'm saying encrypted, that means we are using HTTPS. If you just want to see any of the website, go there. You can see the connection is secure, and if you want to see the certificate, you go there. You can see the certification. You can see the certification validity as well. So 13 July 2026, this certificate will get expired. Okay. So what this was saying, there are so many DNS provider available. Okay. Like Cloudflare is one of them. There are so many others as well. So this guy mentioned if you are using HTTPS, and even if you are using Google DNS or any other DNS, people will never able to find it out which website you are browsing. Okay. and he has shown some screenshotted photo. But if you want to try, I would tell you, because that is not totally true, because maybe that information you will not able to see, but handshake data you will itself able to see that I have opened Google or I have opened any other website. Even if you want to see, you just need to download that app that is freely available online. That is Wireshark. If you just want to analyze what he's saying is correct or anyone is saying is correct, you just need to download this Wireshark tool. And maybe in the next time or sometime, I will show you exactly, even if you are using HTTPS or any DNS you are using, how DNS provider can still see, even if the data is encrypted, that which website you are looking for. Even if you want to see, you can just quickly download this Wireshark, capture the packet, open 3-4 website. Okay, if let me see if I can do it quickly. I can just show it to you right now, if it is possible. Um, okay, it is downloading. And in the meantime, I'm just checking if I can find that X post. What I'm trying to convey here is once we talk about the privacy, you should always remember that what you are reading on uh, social media, it is not always correct, even if it is showing some information. So, okay, let me install this for a second. Oh, I need to download npcap as well. Oh, okay. I will uninstall it later. Let me install it. And by the time I'm just looking for that post in the background, and if I will find it out, I just want to show it to you because I might have liked it, so it should be in my history. Okay, so it has been downloaded. Let me also download that npcap. Anyone here have used the Wireshark or any idea about the Wireshark tool in case you might have used it? Okay, so let
No,
me
no, Shiva,
install.
no.
Okay, okay, let me install this. And I also got to know that thing which I want to show you. And I just want, okay, so that was, yes. Okay, so let me see. It was, okay, I can search it here itself. HTTPS plus, okay, let me see if I can find it out. He might have deleted that, but let me see if I can find it out. I think he removed that. So what he was saying that like even if you are using custom DNS, so custom DNS like you can use Cloudflare and you can also use uh, AdGuard. From that you can remove the ads. So you don't need to download the thing. You just need to add this as a DNS. I think he might have deleted it. So he has shared with the information that even if you don't need custom DNS, and because you are using HTTPS, everything is into encrypted, so people will not able to find it out, Google or others. So you don't need to purchase the VPN subscription and DNS these things. Okay, so this is a private DNS. So how we can use that? If you just want to use a DNS, you just add this dns.adgor.com, and even in the mobile phone you can also add that, and whatever the ads you see on Chrome browser and all those things, because you might be aware that in desktop you can install the extension. Like in the mobile phone, the Chrome version, you cannot install the extension. You can only do with Mozilla Firefox. So if you're using any Firefox on mobile phone, that provide you the flexibility to add the extension. But in Chrome, it not. So if you want to use, you can just use dns.adguard.com in your Android phone. Just use it, and then it will remove or filter out all those ads. Okay, so I think Wireshark has should have been finished. Okay, okay, just so you might be thinking that I'm installing Wireshark on the same system, right? So that is easy. Like in the same system, I can also see what I'm using. But this thing, think like this. I will use the paint for a second so you will understand little better. So think like this. This is your laptop. This might be your router. Okay, so if you're using Wi-Fi, most probably you will be having a router, and this is the whole internet. So your device connected to the router. It might happen another person has access to this router. It might be also connected to this router, right? So ideally, what is the point of HTTPS? The point is what you are communicating from here to this cloud using HTTPS, neither the router should be able to see nor the other device which is connected to the same router should be able to see or monitor what you are doing. So even if it will sniff the packets, they will not able to find it out what you guys are doing, right? So in this case, you can download the Wireshark in different laptop as well. But right now I don't have it, so I am just using the same laptop, but you can run the Wireshark on different laptop as well. And what we can do is here you will see so many options. Okay, so I'm not connected through internet, I'm connected through Wi-Fi, if you can see here, right? So if I click on Wi-Fi, because so many data exchange are happening, I will, okay, so before doing this, what I will do, uh, let me run through 2-3 websites. So google.com, maybe cisco.com, maybe brains.com. Okay, so we have run this websites. The all are HTTPS, that's why I'm running it. Okay, you can see this, right? And what I will do, I will stop this. So all those packets we have captured, right? Uh, Let me see if I can uh, search anything related to. Uh, so I will search for DNS. Okay. So if I will search for DNS, you can see so many DNS query is there, right? This is DNS. Means all those DNS query we are sending, right? But can you see even the data and things are encrypted? I can see what I have, what this guy was doing. This guy might be doing using accounts.google.com, search Brave. So he might be using Brave. later, if you will see, I have opened Cisco, right? Or Google. I should able to find it out. I just need to add few keys. So here, this is a very good open source software. I would recommend if you want to understand how this internet works and all those things. You can see I have opened Cisco, right? Even maybe DNS and all those things are encrypted. I can still able to see. I have also opened Binance.com, I believe. If you will see, I have opened, right? So even this is also encrypted, but all those handshake, I'm able to see it. So even your data is encrypted. I can see whether you are using Trezor or you are using mempool.space or you are using uh, maybe Binance or any other thing, right? If you're going to Trezor, Tangem, I can easily relate that you might be using this. Or if I know that these three address could be yours, and I am just sniffing your packets, or maybe think like this, like any hacker or government or anyone, right? If they know like these are hundreds of address which is related to this location, and these are the guys who are the uh, crypto holders, they can easily find it out. Yep. Someone has any queries? Sorry, anyone has any queries, or we can move ahead? Okay. So what I was saying here, like if that's why people feel that okay, we are using encrypted, so none of the information is shared and people will not be aware of. But no, this is not the case. People can able to see what you are doing at what time. I have opened, see this time which is showing in the millisecond, but if I will go here, custom those columns, I will able to find it out exact date and time and the second and millisecond when I have opened this, done the login and all those things. Maybe the password ID, it will not be available because that is fully encrypted. But based on that itself, I can guess whether you are into Bitcoin, whether you are into crypto, whether you are doing some transaction, whether you have done some login or you are doing something, and then I can relate if these are some of the transaction, or I have the basic idea like you might have these 100 uh, address. I can go to outcome. I can create a sign up and I can create a my portal. Means what you can do is you can do the sign up, and after that you can create your alert and all those things. So I can see this data and I can see the create alert and I can able to find it out. Okay, in all those thousand suspicious Bitcoin address, in this, whenever this guy was doing something related to this, then I can see some inbound and inflow and outflow or outflow in that, right? So I can guess these way. So these are also ways which people feel that no, all those data is encrypted, so people will not able to see. People will see. And if you want to understand more, I would always recommend just try to run this Wi-Fi like a Wireshark. Use Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Like if you want to open another, you can always open it. Uh, go to uh, another open new one and just maybe new instance of the Wireshark, and you can able to uh, use it. Like if I will close it, even I can save this. I can do the analysis on the. Let us suppose, because right now I know that I have done the capture just for 1 minute or 2 minutes, not more than that, right? But people will not do that. So what they can do, they can keep capturing the packet for whole 24 hours. They can save it. They can put it in AI, and they can ask whether what duration this transaction has been done, or means any. thing related to specific website has been done, and based on that they can access those flow, and maybe then they can able to guess or relate whether that belongs to your address or not. Okay, so these are also things by using sniffing and the block explorer. People will look to random transaction and maybe will able to relate what if they know few of the, because this cannot be done for a new person, but if they are following all the steps which are mentioned in the documentation, it will not be that hard if they are able to get access of sniffing your Wi-Fi packets or anything, which is very much easy. If somehow I will able to get connected to your Wi-Fi, even not, even if I got to know about your ISP or the VPN or all those things which you are using, and if I can find it out any loophole on that, I can use it. Okay. So these are the ways. What are some best practice? So few of things people are already aware of, like address reusing. We have to always reuse, sorry, not reusing, right? What I means never use the same Bitcoin address twice. So you have to avoid address reusing. That is the first thing. Second thing, if you have done certain transaction, make sure you are labeling and dis or you can distinguish those UTXOs. Because if you know that this single bill, if I will keep forwarding everywhere, it should not mix with any anonymous coin which has your name attached to it. So maybe you might have done any transaction from centralized exchange to your wallet. If you have done it, that means the KYC has been already done for the centralized exchange. So you, if you have done it, that's fine because you are not reusing the address. But make sure you will not mix that specific UTXOs to any other transaction which can reveal your identity while withdrawing that. Even use VPNs or Tor. So if you want, I will tell you one more thing. If you are using Tor, and then if you will run the sniffer, then you will not able to see all those details, which I'm right now able to see it. So if you're using Tor, so maybe I will explain it here. So if I'm using Tor or any kind of VPN, then this encrypted data and all the flow, even the meta and all those things would go under the tunnel. Then even people are using sniffer, just like I was using Wireshark, or even DNS server or ISP, right? They cannot able to see all those data, whether even you are using google.com or not, they will not able to see. Why? Because they will only see that you are using some kind of VPN, but what is inside that, what is happening, maybe you will not able to see it. So they will see you have connected the VPN. So you have connected any VPN, Tribe or anyone, right? Mul or anyone, they can see that you have connected for VPN since this much. Because how they can get to know? Because where you are forwarding the packet, that IP would be related to some kind of VPN. They can easily find it out, but they cannot able to see all those packets. So if you want to understand what are the things would go inside the packet, you will see all those things. See here, you can able to see all those queries which you have made, Even you can read all those info. Means if you have little bit understanding about the networking, you will able to understand. And from here only, the hacker will find it out what are the loopholes because they will see what are the protocols you are using. So the hacking is not, don't feel like, okay, if someone is a hacker that he might be very intelligent. No, he just know few things. Like take an example. Uh, you are also a hacker. How? If you know that Shivam is driving an electric vehicle, then you know that electric vehicle has some limit. It will go up to 50. Like if you know my bike model name or my car model name, you can easily decide 100 kilometer he can go, not more than that. Then maybe you will find a loophole in which I have to drive more than 100 kilometers, so I may get stuck. The same way, those people are not very intelligent. They just know the loophole. Like if someone is using this version, they will just go on Google, find it out, which version. In that even you will find it out all those information like which uh, browser you are using, what version of the firmware you are using, all those information you will find it out if you will go in deeper. And then if my Brave browser, Chrome browser is old, I will find it out that it has some loopholes. I can send some link which he might click, and the new version of the Google Chrome may not work, but the previous version has those loopholes, so they will able to find those loopholes based on all those packet analysis, and they will capture you. Okay, so yes, so these are the best practices you have to use if you want to make sure anyone is not aware of anything when you are doing this, when you are visiting some websites. Then either use any open source DNS along with the VPN. Even the traffic is encrypted. We always recommend you should use that. So yeah, I hope if you learned something new today. Maybe in the next upcoming session, I will see if I can show it to you one loophole with the Wireshark, that how I can able to find it out or see the details of uh, how other people find the loopholes and will able to do that. Maybe I will show you some loopholes maybe in near future in some sessions. But yes, so these are the things you have to look for. If someone has any doubts related to what we have covered today, or any doubts regarding the brain solo pool or what we have seen, like how you can find it out, how many miners they are currently running and all those things, feel free to ask. Or any doubts related to anything regarding mining or privacy, feel free to ask.